I'm going to be making something that I have a lot of weeknights at home. It is a fruit-stuffed pork chop served with a side of chipotle mashed sweet potatoes. What is really important is that we're gonna be brining the pork chop. We're gonna build a hot brine that then we're gonna chill, okay? Because we wanna get flavor out of it. I'm going to use 1 cup apple cider vinegar, and I'm gonna start to bring that up to heat. One of the nice things about cooking with vinegar is that you'll sure know when it starts to boil because the whole place will start to stink. I am going to add 80 grams of kosher salt and 90 grams of brown sugar. I need some peppercorns, and I'm gonna go with a tablespoon of them. I'm also going with 2 teaspoons of mustard powder, and that is going to get added directly to the vinegar. I want to keep an eye on this because I'm not looking to boil this. I really just want everything to dissolve, and then we're gonna let this sit for 5 minutes. Now I'm gonna go get my pork chops. Now the pork chops are gonna be stuffed with a mixture. I've got cornbread, I've got sage, I have dried cherries, I have raisins, I've got some buttermilk to hold it together, and walnuts. They complete the fruit, and they also add a lot of texture. What I actually want is a 1/4 cup of chopped walnuts, roughly chopped. Now, the 1/4 cup of nuts are useless to me in this state. I must bring flavor to the party by applying heat. So I'm putting these over very low heat, and I'm just gonna toss them every now and then until they become fragrant. So here's the thing about toasting nuts. They're not done, they're not done, they're not done, they're not done, they're done, they're burned. It's not boiling yet, but it's just coming up to a simmer. Take it off the heat, give it a stir to make sure all the solids have melted. Set it aside, set your timer for 5 minutes. Now, I wanna stuff this thing. How am I gonna do that? You're gonna use the thinnest, sharpest knife you have. I wanna make a small hole. What a big pocket. So lay your meat down. Chilling it is going to make a huge difference, okay? And making this meat nice and firm so you don't make a mess of things, all right? So I'm going right into the middle of the meat, and I'm paying a lot of attention to the angle of my knife blade, okay? Because if I'm up like this, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go down and pierce the other side of the meat. While, sawing as little as possible, you're gonna have to do it some. I'm gonna sweep towards the bone, and guess what? My knife tip is on the bone. That tells me I have gone from all the way over here to all the way over here. Now all I have to do is take my knife out. All right, now my timer went off, so I've got to do something else. I need to cool this brine down. That ice ought to do it. Of course, the ice is also diluting the solution. When the ice is almost melted, since we've got to go, I'm gonna get this into a large bag. It's the best way to brine because it guarantees that we'll get full contact between the meat and the brine. Pork chops go in. Don't lay them on top of each other, kind of lay them side by side. Brine goes in. Get as much of the air out of the bag as you can because we want to maximize contact with the brine, and then squeeze till the brine comes almost up to the top. I end up with something that looks like this. I'm just gonna lay that inside the bowl, and I'm gonna set that for 30 minutes. Now, I've had raw pork on this board. There hasn't been a case of trichinosis in the American pork industry in about 75 years, but we're not taking any chances. Okay, I can go ahead and steam my potatoes now. So I'm gonna very quickly peel and cube 2 sweet potatoes. These are going to cook for 20 minutes or until they are done. This is done, I'm gonna take these nuts up. I'm starting to smell them just a little bit. I've seen nuts burn while they were sitting in a pan off the heat. Now we'll move on to the stuffing. A cup and a half of the cornbread crumbled, 2 tablespoons of golden raisins, my 1/4 cup of walnuts, and I'm gonna chop those down just a little bit more, 1/4 cup of dried cherries, 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, some chopped sage, and I need about 2 teaspoons. So mix, make a little well in the middle, pour in the buttermilk. Trust me, you want this moisture, because I might as well get everything else together for my sweet potato. The first of that is going to be 1 chipotle chili. We want the candidate because they always come packed in a very flavorful sauce. They are strong, so reach in, get yourself one, chop that up, and get that into a bowl. 2 teaspoons of the sauce from the container. I'm gonna go with a tablespoon of maple syrup. The darker the maple, the better. We're also gonna need 2 tablespoons of butter. Yeah, 1 teaspoon's worth of salt I'll dump in there. While I'm here, I'm gonna test these. You should feel almost no resistance. These are done. I'm glad I checked them. So what I'm gonna do, all right, I'm gonna dump all of my mise en place ingredients into the pot. I've got the heat on low. I'm gonna put the sweet potatoes right back. And I'm just gonna mash. pans. We're gonna try one on the grill pan, and we're gonna try one in just a cast iron. Now, I'm gonna get both of these pans, though, ripping hot. When you get the pork out of the bag, get all the peppercorns off. We don't want those. Now I'm gonna take some paper towel, and I'm gonna dry off the surface of these. Stuffing time. And every now and then, you should stop and kind of squeeze it around a little bit, just to kind of distribute it. So I'm gonna oil the meat. I don't want a whole lot. I don't want it dripping. And I'm going to look to cook each of these for 3 minutes per side. As the sear forms, the meat will release. You'll notice, like, if you touch the meat too soon, it's gonna feel like it's sticking to the pan, but that's just because a crust is forming. I like deep color. Some of that is the sugar in the brine. So it's gonna get darker on you quicker. This one's going straight into a 500-degree oven. I'm gonna flip them, cook another 3 minutes, flip them, cook another 3 minutes and flip them, and then I'm take them out and rest them. Let those rest for at least 5 minutes. Now, typically, I just want to serve it like that, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna serve this one that way. The other way that you can do this is you can take this right off of the bone. Stand it up like this, simply come down, take that off of the bone, serve that with the bone on the side, because as far as I'm concerned, that's what I want right there. I'm gonna nail that thing like nobody's business. All right, dig in.